We have a brand new character request for Squidward Tentacles, and this is what we're going to talk about today. And another character that I like from the SpongeBob series, he's going to be one of many. I would like to see him in the game, but I'm going to get into his character ideas and share my thoughts and ideas of how he can play. And all of his abilities will be in the description as usual with this series. It's so much fun. And before I get into sharing his ideas and with the ideas I came up with for his moveset and how he could play in this game, it's actually the 1 year anniversary to the announcement of this game. And for me, I didn't know anything about this game. Just to be open, someone from the community told me about this game while I was playing. I think it was Ghost of Tsushima, or I don't know which game it was. I think it was one of those games, Ghost of Tsushima, or one of the other online multiplayer games I was playing. But I'm thankful that he told me about this game, and I never would have been playing this because I thought it was a joke. It's like, because I already remember what he said in the chat. Did you know that there's gonna be a Nickelodeon fighting game, almost similar to playing like Super Smash Bros. But when I looked into it, that's the kind of vibes that I got from looking at the gameplay. So this is Nickelodeon characters, but just with Super Smash Bros. Sort of type of gameplay and the style of play for a platform fighter. It's different. It's not like Super Smash Bros. It might be similar to it, but it's just a whole different game, and it has its own content, and every character has their own ability and unique offensive abilities and powers that they can use in the game. And most of these shows, when I looked into the game just to share, I grew up watching these shows. I watched every single show that's in this game except the Loud House because I didn't know about these two characters, and I didn't see too much of The Legend of Korra. But those outside of those characters, I knew about all these characters. I grew up watching SpongeBob, and way before SpongeBob even hit the Nickelodeon channel and got airtime or TV time, I was watching Cat Dog and Ren and Stimpy, Ninja Turtles, of course, from the old school days from the arcade, Hey Arnold, Keenan and Kel, all that, the Amanda Show, Wild Thornberrys, Real Monsters, Kablam, and Cousin Skeeter, and all those different shows, Drake and Josh, and so much more. But there were earlier shows that I just basically mentioned that came out on Nickelodeon, Rocket Power, Hey Arnold, and the list goes on with Rugrats and many more that got included on the show before we got to know SpongeBob, The Last Airbender with Aang, or the Avatar The Last Airbender, and other modern shows like Loud House that are popular today on the channel. So that's how I ended up finding out about the game. So I'm excited to see what this game is going to bring to the table. I'm excited for the characters and more. So I just wanted to bring that out there and mention that. So I thought they were going to probably reveal something since it's the little anniversary of the announcement. Why not announce another teaser or give us some kind of showcase or reveal for this upcoming character for for the Hugh Nation, for Hugh Neutron. So we don't know when we're going to get him, but from what I've seen, 26 pages of patch notes according to today's post. It's going to be a big update. Who knows, all these characters could get changed and so much more. Maybe, hopefully, maybe somewhere in the patch notes is going to be included with a game mode, a new game mode, and something that we never had before as a nice little surprise. But now it's time to talk about Squidward Tentacles, who's part of today's video that I want to just really bring up into this all into one for this anniversary announcement for this reveal of this game. But I love playing it, and I'm gonna say this before I get started. Multiverse's open beta is starting up soon. I'm playing that, but I'm not gonna drop this game. And just like I did, I'm just gonna be playing both games. So I like both games, but I'm not gonna just drop it. Multiverse is out. I'm not gonna play the character or anything like that. I play this game with a passion. It's so much fun. Whether or not anything is new, I'm still playing the game and covering the characters and starting the series. It's fun, and just all these characters that y'all want to see, it brings more content and things to talk about while during its downtime. So that's why I came up with this series and the universe pack. But now it's time to talk about the character. But I'm looking forward to seeing if they're gonna put him in the game. But the one thing that stops me, that worries me, I'm gonna just bring it up. Let's go to the item rules. it's one of the many items, several items that you can see displayed on the screen from SpongeBob, Rugrats, Hey Arnold, and Invader Zim, Danny Phantom, so much more. And even the avatar with Sokka's boomerang, so he could probably be a character. But Squidward's clarinet, since we're all about Squidward today, his clarinet is, look, it says safely contained inside floating air bubbles, stay clear of them. I utilize his clarinet for part of his moveset, but is this a sign that Squidward's going to be coming to the game, or maybe this is just the only part of Squidward we're probably going to be able to get in this Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl game, with just his clarinet in general being a playable item in the game. And something about that I want to talk about for this game, for this item, each time when a character grabs the clarinet, they'll stand still. Just for the AI, doesn't matter what level you're playing against them on, they stand still when they're holding the clarinet. So they're just wide open, they won't move once they grab it. So that's a little silly bug with the game I wanted to share. But is this only gonna be the only part of Squidward, or maybe the reference or tribute to Squidward we're gonna get for him? Are we not gonna get the actual character? I just wanted to bring this to the table. So we don't know if he's gonna get in the game. I hope they do add him, because apparently he's one of the most top requested characters now in the fan poll. So we got the items, but look, we got 3 SpongeBob reps. We got 3 SpongeBob reps, Avatar. You got 4 Ninja Turtle characters, but this is all about SpongeBob universe for today. You got SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy, 3 icons, but Squidward is the neighbor of SpongeBob and Patrick, and they live on the same street, on Kunch Street. So just a little bit of backstory to start talking about the character now. To get into it, he's one of the main characters, and just like I mentioned, he's neighbors with SpongeBob and Patrick. He doesn't really like that he's neighbors with them, so he gets annoyed about whatever things that they get into, and he's more known as the grumpy neighbor, because I'm sure some of you guys out there have grumpy neighbors, or neighbors that you don't get along well enough with wherever you are, or just someone you've been around, some people that you don't really get along with well enough, and whether a neighbor or someone in your circle. But Squidward doesn't really enjoy the things that SpongeBob and Patrick get into for their activities and that they get into. And just with that, remember Robot Pirate Island? I think that was one of my favorite episodes. It's a unique episode to reference, because he just gets annoyed with trying to sleep, and they're in that box using their imagination, and it just sounds like a party is going on in the box, and all the fighting and the noise. And on Robot Pirate Island, he was trying to go and join them because it sounded like fun, and they were having like a dance party and so much more that was going on. I think that's one of the funniest, the best episodes that I really enjoyed from the SpongeBob episodes. There's so many favorites and good episodes from the show, but that was the only time, at least from my memory, that was the time that he was trying to really get involved. One of the very few rare moments that he wanted to get involved with Patrick and SpongeBob's adventures. And I think the other one, like jellyfishing sometimes and more. I think when he got injured and he was trying to catch the jellyfish in a wheelchair. Just funny moments like that just brings back memories. But that's what he's about, and who Squidward really is. So if you watch the show, you'll know all about him. But if you haven't, that's just a little bit of backstory about him and being neighbors with SpongeBob and Patrick, and always usually being around them. And they work at the same place, the Krusty Krab. SpongeBob and Patrick, well, not SpongeBob and Patrick, but SpongeBob and Squidward do. So that's just a little story about Squidward, just to share. But now I'm going to get into the stages. I named multiple stages for this particular character, and they're part of Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and many more characters that are in this particular area. They're all part of the Bikini Bottom. And I put Squidward's house as maybe a potential stage. Maybe we're going to fight on the indoors. We can fight inside Squidward's house, because they've been there a few times, sneaking in there and trying to wake him up and bother him, disturb him, get on his nerves. Patrick, let's go see what Squidward's up to. So I put his house in as one of the potential stages, and then some more references from the Bikini Bottom of SpongeBob's universe. Goo Lagoon, the Krusty Krab, which I think should come out with Mr. Krabs if he gets into the game. but I still put it in there anyway. The Krusty Krab and the city of Bikini Bottom. It could fight out in the streets of Bikini Bottom, inside of Bikini Bottom for the city, or downtown, something like that. So those are the stages that I selected for Squidward for his DLC bundle, or paid DLC package, or pack, more like it, for stages that can be included. One of those stages can probably get in. Alternate costumes, I really had a lot of fun with this one. One of my favorites. He has a lot of good costumes. I'm gonna just say this one. I know I'm going out of order for my list. Captain Magma. I would want to see that skin. I will buy that instantly. Captain Magma, if you guys remember, Krakatoa! And that's one of his voice lines that I selected from one of his animations, taunts, stuff like that, things that you could say. But I'm gonna get into that soon. But I want to see his Captain Magma suit from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5, that episode. Had to look up the episode in which to get the reference. His Sweet Victory outfit from the Band Geeks episode when he took on Squilliam and his band. You don't even have. He was making fun of Squilliam with his real rival from the show and Nemesis. Squidward, you don't even. He said, Squidward, you don't even have a band. And he was just laughing at his face. So Squidward took the time to put a band of his own, and he took over. And he gave Squilliam a heart attack in front of the show. It's crazy because they really performed so well. It shocked them. But that's just another iconic episode. But his Sweet Victory, I don't know what they can call it, Sweet Victory, or maybe his Band Geeks sort of outfit. He can have that on. And then something quick. See how they got these little costumes? That's quick and easy. Not Jenny. That's a lot. That's one of the best ones. The ones that's quick and easy. Kato with the party hats. And then see how this is perfect. Patrick has the cowboy hat, but they can give Squidward his Krusty Krab work hat. See what I'm saying? They could have did the same thing for SpongeBob, but this is the better one. This is way better. A little drinking hat. But see how they did this? They can slip on Squidward's hat from the Krusty Krab as another quick and easy as a quick alternate costume for the developers to put on. But another one outside of his Captain Magma, I think that's my most wanted one. I would say Captain Magma, and then his Band Geeks outfit, or Sweet Victory outfit, whatever they want to call it. Those are the top two. But I slipped in a reference of Squilliam. See, I just finished talking about him. One of his rivals, or his main rival, that he just didn't get along with, and he will always try to compete with. How about a Squilliam reference? Developers can have they can add in Squilliam's, they can give Squidward a unibrow, and he can wear that maroon jacket that Squilliam wears in the show. And it could be a perfect reference. Squilliam just doesn't really have to be in the game. He can just have his outfit, and Squidward can have this funny unibrow similar to Squilliam. It'll be a nice skin for paid DLC. See what I'm saying? They can add all these different skins, and all the ones that I just mentioned, they can be a part of an item shop or additional DLC for the player to purchase in this game. So I think these are really iconic alternate costumes that the developers should definitely aim for if they can get if they can get Squidward in this game. I hope he does, and I think he's gonna look amazing. I'm definitely getting that Captain Magma suit. Please, I hope they do put that in there. I think that's one of my all-time favorite episodes. So those are the alternate costumes. Now I'm going to move on to the taunts and animations that I came up with. Speaking of Captain Magma, Krakatoa! Before he just bursts with the lava burst from his head and from his helmet. It's a Captain Magma phrase from the episode, and it could be an iconic knockout voice line to reference that episode. So see, even if he doesn't get his Captain Magma costume for his paid DLC for an alternate outfit, he can say this for a voice line when he takes out SpongeBob or Patrick, or maybe when you run into him in the arcade. See how it's just so many options that they can do with this particular catchphrase. Krakatoa! He could say that in the arcade when you go against him, or if you run into him, or if you're playing as him in an arcade, it can come up as a potential dialogue. But I thought it would be more fitting when he knocks you out, when he gets the elimination. See how some of these characters laugh and giggle, like Jenny. But just when they start laughing, and Leonardo will laugh too. when they knock you out and get an elimination, Squidward could say that, Krakatoa, something like that, to reference. It's a perfect reference for Captain Magma. And his iconic laugh, speaking of laughing, and and something else I was thinking of when I played and completed Kart Racers 2, Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2, once you get into the winner circle in first place, Squidward laughs. You can't hear him, of course, because it doesn't have voice lines, but you can see him laughing and pointing. So he can do something similar to that, but we're going to be able to hear him laugh. And his iconic laugh from the show, I'm going to try to do it. Ha 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 ha. And his nose, maybe they can add that too. When he's laughing, his nose can go in and out like it does in the show. See what I'm saying? It's going to be really amazing for him to be in this game, and I think these developers can do it for sure. And then just some other little quotes that I came up with. He said, "Oh, please," and then he said, "And they can mix it up. Wake me up when I care." Just something like that when he has those kind of reactions in the show. Perfect voice lines, animations, and things that they can implement. And a winning animation. I thought Squidward can probably play his clarinet for some nice tunes, for some musical tunes in the winner circle. They got it on here. Let's bring it back up. They got it right here. When you pick up this item, if y'all played the item update and you grab the clarinet, I almost wanted to get into a match, but you guys already know. But once you grab the clarinet, it's gonna start playing, and it plays those musical tunes. But this is what I used for one of his movesets that's coming up in a matter of seconds that I'm about to get ready to talk about. So I thought that'll be a perfect winning animation. Have him play his clarinet in celebration and celebratory in the winner circle when he gets the dub. When he takes that W home. So let's get back over here. So let's bring it back to here. So now to wrap up the moveset, I always have fun with these. I just try to make them make sense, make it realistic, referencing the show and more. So I started with his tentacles. His tentacles are going to be very deadly in his game, and also a key to his recovery, but that's going to be later in just a little while that I'm going to talk about. But I came up with Tentacle Strike. You guys can check this out in the description if you want. Let me know what y'all think. Squidward can use his tentacles to attack the enemy with some basic light attacks. And then, for a mix-up so it's not too plain, spinning tentacles as a technique of its own, where Squidward can unleash his unrecognized talent, just like they say for the reference for the show. He can unleash his unrecognized talent with a charged move that can hit all enemies that are around him. So if you're going against more than one, and it's like a free-for-all, 4-player free-for-all, whatever, they should definitely, just say it again, they can expand it to 8 players. I hope they do, but that's going to be even more chaotic and more probably laggier, but I hope they can expand it a little bit, maybe 6 players. But 4 players, 4-player free-for-all, this will be perfect. You have that charged up spinning tentacle technique in reserve, and the player can, he or she can unleash it, and whenever he or she wants to, for the spinning tentacle technique to be able to launch multiple people at once. So let's say if player 2, 3, and 4, or whoever you're playing against, a friends, couch co-op, or online, something like that, and they have a lot of damage inflicted on them, you can get potentially 3 KOs or 3 points to be able to knock them all out with his spinning tentacle technique. So it's going to be great for crowd control and to be able to handle a lot of enemies, or more than one player that's probably trying to gang up on you. Just in case, maybe it's a 1v2, a handicap, and you're in trouble, you can unleash this move to really be able to get them separated, so you can get some space and try to recover and recuperate. Another technique with his tentacles, I just tried to focus on these to really come up with some kind of offensive moveset for him to be unique. I call it reel in, so he can reel you in, so like a fishing technique, something like that. But I just put reel in, where Squidward can use his extended reach of his tentacles to pull the enemy closer, so you can drag them closer. And then let's say, just like I just finished mentioning, the spinning tentacles, you can already have that charged technique in waiting, and once you bring them in, bang, pull them in, and then unleash it right off the bat and be able to get them to launch the enemy. So it's a perfect combo. So whether you want to hit them with the spinning tentacle technique, or you just want to smack them around with the tentacle, and then his other move with his clarinet that's going to be coming up right now, you can use the I just put audition, so Squidward can play his tunes from his clarinet, creating musical notes that glide across the field as a projectile attack. So he can play his clarinet. So I wanted to change it up. I didn't want to make it identical to the item that's in the game. It might sound different, but it might sound similar to it. But he's going to be the player. He's going to be playing the clarinet on the field, and I wanted to make it a little bit different with a mechanic with a lung capacity meter. I was thinking about GTA a little bit when you stay on the water long enough, but a lung capacity meter that can be implemented with the developers. They can do this if they want to, but as he's playing his clarinet and these musical tunes and these notes are coming out of his clarinet are just going to be launching towards across the screen and moving about. They could change the movements of the notes, so it's not just a straight line. They can change it so that way it's trickier, and as the player is playing the clarinet with Squidward and holding that action button down, the notes are going to move different, and you'll have to dodge them. Try to dodge all those notes, try to get close to Squidward to stop him from playing or just to silence him. But he can't spam, so that way there's a lung capacity meter, so the player's not just standing still playing the clarinet infinitely. It's a lung capacity meter, or if they don't want to, they can just have him only play the clarinet for a few seconds, and then he can stop playing, and you just can't keep on doing it over and over. You have to wait a few seconds, wait a little while before he can regain his lung capacity meter to replenish it to be able to start playing the clarinet again. See what I'm getting at? So I just wanted to change it up for his moveset to make it different from just the item that's in the game, because we already got his clarinet in the game, but I still wanted to make it part of his moveset anyway. So they don't have to do the lung capacity meter cooldown period. If they don't want to, they can just have him play a couple musical notes that as a projectile, and then he just won't be able to spam it, and he'll get tired and he'll only be able to play one to two notes, and then it'll just be pure silence and he won't be able to play it. So you just have to wait. So that way it prevents spam, and it's not so overpowered, and just keep on just using the same thing over and over. So going back to his clarinet for his next move, that was just the audition sort of move that I called it, instead of just a musical melody or something. They can call it anything of that matter. But clarinet tantrum as a neutral song, so not only he'll just be able to play his clarinet, he'll be able to beat you down with his clarinet and smack you around with it. So Squidward lets out his anger by attacking the enemy with his most prized possession, which is his clarinet. So when I think it broke a few times in the episodes, some of the episodes, and he's in shambles when it happens. So the clarinet tantrum, well, in this game, in this world, it's not gonna break, but it's the clarinet tantrum is neutral strong that I came up with, where Squidward can smack you with his clarinet. So it's just a little bit of an additional move to add on to his attacks. But a recovery move I came up with, I just called it bring it around town. But I couldn't really come up with a unique name. I just thought it would be a nice name to reference from the episode, because the SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy don't have a move to represent that and reference it. So I just put bring it around town, where Squidward can use his flexibility to grab onto the edge of the stage to get back into the fight and get back into the battle. But that's just an idea for his recovery that I came up with, because I know that he's gonna be flexible, and he'll be able to grab onto the ledge using his tentacles, or maybe he can do like a spinning sort of tentacle recovery move in the air, like a propeller. Let's see, Ablina. See how she spins her eyes in a circle, like in a helicopter sort of motion? He can do that with his tentacles, something sort of like that. But I don't know, maybe that could be something similar to Ablina's recovery. But he's gonna be flexible, and he'll be able to grab the ledge. But it might sound something similar to Michelangelo's too, with his nunchucks. But I think it'll be better than Michelangelo's. maybe slightly better. It could be better than Michelangelo's have that extended range. But that'll make his recovery godly. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not sure how they can really do it, but I'm sure he can use his flexibility to get back into the stage. But that's the character ideas that I came up with for Squidward Tentacles. I'm excited to see what you guys think. I think this character deserves to be in this game, but I'm saying no. That's just another protagonist they can add on to the SpongeBob roster with the SpongeBob reps, but we need some more villains to get in too. So I'm sure they can get some villains from SpongeBob's world into the roster as well. But Squidward definitely deserves to be in this game. I don't think they should stop at the fact that, oh, well, we got his item and we got Squidward's clarinet in the game, but we're not going to get the character in the game at all. I think he deserves to be a potential character that could be into the game to add on to the roster. And it's just going to make him dangerous. I think he's going to have a lot of good moves. He's going to be fun to play with. And then one thing I want to mention just again, I'm excited to see what kind of alternate costumes they put in. I hope they get Captain Magma in. That's my all-time favorite skin I would get for him. And then Geeks for sure.